my voice?
Non puedo varan. Mama oyata edere. Hebai oya hindam atagodak prashna
Okay, so
hunat.
can we start the session? It's 2 or 3, so let's start the session. And before, let me share the screen. Everybody can see my screen? Yes, no? All right. So till yesterday, we have learned how to create a PNR. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, so we know how to create a PNR, and then we have learned how to add the passenger name, how do we add an infant name, all those entries we have cleared. Let me open this one, the quick reference guide. All right. Now, today we are going to start with the topic, which is a small topic which is left behind, which is left for the yesterday. So let me first of all, give me 1 second. One more. Okay. Let me first of all record this. All right. All right. So from here,
Recording in progress.
let's take an example that if you want you to allow the corporate travel agents to share the remarks without specifying any of the offices that are allowed to view them, which means suppose I only want to view my remarks to my office within my office, then you go and add the corporate remarks. The command is rx. Let me open the PNR. Can anyone tell me the yesterday's PNR which we have created? I have created a PNR with my Mishra name. All right, that's the PNR. Here. Now, see, this is the PNR which we have created yesterday. Yes or no? Chennai, Colombo, Colombo, Chennai. That's the infant name, that's the adult passenger, that's the child passenger. Okay. Now, we are going to start adding the corporate remarks. So I want to add a corporate remarks which only can be seen by my office, within my office. Okay. So how do you add that? Rx, which we already did it yesterday. Yeah, remember? Rx, and then you send a message that this passenger is a VIP passenger, or whatever the remarks that you want to add. One of the example I have already added, that I took an approval from the manager. If passenger paid 10,000 advance, we will issue the ticket. That is the remarks which we have added here. Yes or no? Now there are other remarks like confidential remarks. So those remarks which is confidential, which you don't want to share with any other office locations. You want to share that only within your office, within, not without outside of the office location. So that remarks can gets added through a command which is RC. Okay, RC, and then you add a remarks like you can write it passenger credit card number is credit card number is the number which you want to enter. So those informations gets added here, and that remarks will only be viewed within your office. If I show you the corporate remarks, confidential remarks, let me move down and show. See, do you see anywhere the corporate, the confidential remarks? Beside that confidential remarks, there is an office ID mentioned. So what does it mean? It means that within that office ID, who all are the user of this office ID can only view this remarks. Rest of the other people, if they have the rights to open your PNR, they will not be able to this confidential remarks. Okay. So that is the reason I entered the command confidential remarks RC. Command is RC and then the free flow text. Is that clear? Then the next remarks is, let me show you the third remarks, which is a general remarks. So the general remarks which you add and which you want to add, like any remarks which is common for all the people, which anybody can read, and that's not something very important and something very confidential, that not to be shared with other people, that can be used through a general remarks, and the command is RM. Now remember one thing, the general remarks can be viewed by airline. So if you enter any general remarks here, those remarks will be read by airline. But the corporate remarks, the confidential remarks, and the confidential remarks and the corporate remarks cannot be viewed by the airline. Okay. But this remarks can be viewed by the airline. But the airline will not work or will not enact on anything on that remarks. So general remarks, like, can you tell me what general remarks we can write it? We can write like this. Okay, passenger date change penalty. Penalty is, let's take an example, 10,000. Enter. Or you can write like this, RM ticket is non-refundable. So all those general remarks will be entered like this way. RM and this one. Okay. Any questions about the general remarks? What is the command of adding confidential remark? Can you tell me? I am asking confidential remarks. Somebody said RX. RX is only used for the corporate remarks. All right. Now, what is the difference between corporate remarks and the confidential remarks? Can anyone tell me? Can anyone tell me the difference between corporate remarks and confidential remarks? Sure, Diksha. So that is the reason I asked you. Okay, I'll just explain it to you, the difference between the corporate remarks and the confidential remarks. So let's take an example that there is very important information, or there is a very important what I can say, message for the passenger, and you don't want it to be shared with anyone, like suppose credit card details that you don't want to share with all the offices. Okay, so if you want to make it very confidential, then you add it confidential remark. And if you want to make those remarks which can be read in my entire office, entire office, which means that wherever the office is of ABC travel agency, those people can read the corporate remarks. Okay, if you want to make a better example to understand, see, let's take an example. There is a travel organization which is in Colombo. There is another office. ABC travel agency office is in Colombo, and there is another office of ABC which is in Hambantota. Now, have you noticed the passenger can book the PNR either from Colombo office or either can from the Hambantota office? Yes or no? He can make the payment at Colombo office as well as the Hambantota office. Yes or no? Yes or no, Diksha? Yes. Now, if you want only, and you know that Hambantota office ID is different. Hambantota office ID would be different, and the Colombo office ID would be different because there are two different locations. Yes or no? So if there are two different locations, the office ID should be different. So the moment you enter any confidential remarks, so that remarks will get added with the office ID, which means those person who are only using this office ID can read that remarks. If you have given a permission to other office ID to open your PNR, then those people will not be allowed to open this remarks or will not be allowed to read this remarks. If you want to make it better understand, now, have you seen that I have entered a confidential remarks here? Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to quickly save here. I saved it. Now it gets saved. Now see, now what I have done, I have switched to my different office ID. Now what I have given the rights that this PNR can be read into a different office. So tell me, what is this office ID? It's a Dell 1A0901, correct? Now I'm going to open this PNR to different office ID. Now see, I'm going to open. Can anyone tell me how do I open the PNR? RT and the PNR number. Press enter. Now see what is written here in the confidential remarks. Tell me. It's restricted because that remarks are not being allowed to read by the other person outside the office location. Okay, is that clear? But do you see this corporate remarks? It can be read or it can be read by the entire office. How do you understand that it's a corporate office? Can you tell me what is the corporate office code for this Dell 1A0900 and CMB 1A0900? What is the common thing between these two different office ID? Can anyone tell me? Apart from this one, if I remove this one, then what is common? The 1A, this is the corporate identifier. So wherever you see 1A, so those people can read this corporate remarks, and that is the reason it's called as a corporate code. Clear? Yes, no? And this confidential remarks also clear? Yes, no? Okay. Now let's, and what about the general remarks? Everybody understood the general remarks? So general remarks can be viewed by the airline and all the travel agents who have the rights to view the PNR. Now, what is the command to add a general remarks? RM. Okay. Now there is one more type of remarks which is called as an itinerary remarks. So that remarks will be used only for the passenger's request. Like suppose there is a passenger who is traveling on a certain date, and on that date the passenger is has her or his birthday or the marriage anniversary. Now you want to send a special wish in the itinerary. Okay, you want to send a special wish in the itinerary, which once the itinerary gets printed by the passenger, that message gets displayed here. Have you noticed, once we send an email, at the end we send it warm regards, have a nice trip, like those kind of short messages. So if you want to send a short message to the passenger, so then that remarks can be added through an itinerary remarks. And what is the command to add an itinerary remarks? RIR is the command to add a itinerary remarks. And then the free flow text, like have a happy and safe journey. Press enter. Now let me save it in the PNR. Now the information gets saved. Now you might ask a question. Yes, 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 that's correct. Now you want to know that where do I see that remarks? So I told you this remarks is can only be viewed by the passenger if once you send the itinerary to the passenger. And that is the reason it is said as an itinerary remarks, which means that remarks can only be viewed once you send an itinerary to the passenger. Okay. And how do you send the itinerary? Because now the question comes, how do you send the itinerary to the passenger? Now, in the quick reference guide, you can see here, there is a command which is used to send an itinerary on the passenger's email ID. Send itinerary email copy to the passenger. Now, what is the command? It is given here, IEP dash, please make a note of this command, EML dash email ID. See, I have entered my email ID and press enter. Now, the moment you do, a message gets displayed, itinerary email sent. Now, where if that email has been sent? On this email ID, nm@amadeus.co.in. Now, let me refresh this information. See, I got the email. Do you see here? I got this email. Yes, no? Now, I have entered special remarks for the passenger. Now, where do you see these remarks? See here. Once you scroll down, this have a happy and a safe journey. The message gets displayed here. Okay. So this message is especially for the passenger. Any question? So how many types of remarks? 4 different types of remarks, correct? If you want to send, if you want to enter any confidential remarks, so what is the command to add? RC is the command to add confidential remarks. And what is the command to enter the general remarks, like a date change penalty, cancellation penalty, ticket is non-refundable, the ticket does not have a baggage allowance. RM is the command. All right. Now, what is the command that you want to send in special remarks to the passenger? RIR is the command. Clear with that? There are the 4 different types of remarks. Okay. Now, after this adding remarks, now we are moving towards the next. That is OSI. Now, suppose there is a special information you got to know, or you know it very well, that this information related to the passenger is very special to be shared by the airline. Like a passenger is a celebrity. Yesterday, I already shared with you. So passenger is a celebrity, or passenger is a MD of a company, or the passenger does not understand English. So these are the very special information related to the passenger, and you want to share that information by the airline. So how do you share that information? And what is an other service information. So an other service information is an element which contains special information, which I already informed you, regarding whom, regarding a passenger in the PNR that is sent to the airline, that appears in the itinerary. So once you send that special information to the airline, where does this it shows? It shows in the itinerary. And how do we send a request for an OSI? How do you send an other service information request to the airline? Through a command which is OS. So if you want to send any special information to the airline, so what is the command? Tell me. OS. Apart from that OS, give a space, and then you need to enter the airline code, because whichever the airline information, whichever the airline you want to share the information related to the passenger, that code needs to be entered. So suppose you want to share the information to the UL airline. So you need to enter the 2-letter code of an airline. Okay? Yes, no? And the free flow text. Now tell me, what kind of special information? Okay, I'll just explain it to you. OS is the command. Okay, if you want to share any special information of the passenger to the airline, so you need to enter that OS and the airline code, because you want to share the information to the airline. So which airline that you want to share, the UL airline or the British Airways airline? Tell me, in the PNR or in this itinerary, which airline is this? OS, UL. And the free flow text. Free flow text means the information. So there is a special information that passenger is does not understand English. So what is the special information regarding this passenger, which we are going to send this to the airline? Passenger does not understand English. Now, in this PNR, how many passengers are there? There are 2 different passengers. One is child, one is adult, and third one is an infant. So for the infant, we do not need to share any special information. Either we can send in special information related to this passenger or this adult passenger. Yes. So what I will do, I need to associate the passenger information as well, because how does the airline understand which one passenger does not understand English? So I need to enter this passenger number 2, because this passenger is an adult passenger and this passenger does not understand English. Is that clear? Yes, no? And press enter. So the information gets added in the itinerary, which is only for the passenger number 2. Clear? Now, tell me, does airline any do special arrangement for the passenger? Yes or no? It might be yes or it might not be. But as a travel agent, your responsibility is to share those special information to the airline. Now, remember one thing, this OS command is not only be used to share the special information, this OS command can be used to share the passenger's mobile number. Sometimes they ask you to share, because once you call to the airline ask you to share the passenger visa detail as well. Passenger share, airline ask you to share the hotel details, the hotel PNR. So that also can be shared through OS, and whomsoever the airline ask you to share the information, that airline code and the message. Okay, so that will be then the airline will be able to read that information or that message which was shared by the travel agent. Am I clear to everyone? Am I clear to everyone? Okay, now OS remarks and the other service information which is going to be shared or which will be shared to the airline is a one-way communication. Why it's a one-way communication? Because it's only an information shared to the airline. Now the airline is not going to respond you back that okay, I got the information, we will do some special arrangement or no. It will not like this. It's just a one-way communication. You have to pass on the message to the airline. That's jobs is done. All right. So that's the reason it's a one-way communication. Now moving to the next optional element, which is in special service request. Again, it's a special service request. So the word automatically suggests that there is a special request which is going to be asked from the airline, which is going to be requested by the airline. And who will request this special service request? The passenger. Okay. So there are two different types of passengers service request. One is related to the request which is taken by the passenger, and the other airline also asks some special information related to the passenger. So those are related passport, visa, address, GST, phone and email ID, and the frequent flyer number. Now the GST is not applicable for the Colombo market. Okay, because the goods and service the taxes is only applicable in the India market. So those people who are having sessions in the who are taking the sessions from India, so that I will make you understand. And those people who are in Colombo, if you do not want to learn it, so you can skip it. Skip in this, but however, I will make you understand that how you are going to add that GST details, and I will make you understand that what is the use, what is the relevance of this GST. Right. So let's start from the first passenger's request. So generally, the passenger asks you to add the meal because meal is very much important for the international tours. Right. So passenger asks you a meal. So have you noticed or have you come across once the customer calls you, they said, tell me what type of meal will be provided by the airline. So they might ask you the meal. So remember one thing, any kind of special request which you are going to enter or which you are going to give to the passenger in the PNR, there is a command. And what is the two-letter command to add the special service request? SR is the command. Okay. Now, after entering the SR, you need to enter the 4-letter code of any special service request. So now, what is the special service request that we are asking? That passenger is asking meal. So definitely we need a meal code, 4-letter meal code. So we go HE meal code. Now here we need to learn meal code in SSR. So where we should go and find out the meal code in SSR? MS22. See, now here is the list of all the meal codes description. So now, if passenger asked you to provide me the vegetarian Hindu meal, sometimes passenger ask me to Hindu non-vegetarian meal, a glutton meal, a fruit platter meal, a diabetic meal, a chicken meal, a child meal, correct? So now you all tell me that a passenger asks you to enter the low calorie meal. Now, what is the 4-letter code for low calorie meal? LCML. So what should I write here? LCML, correct? Now, you might ask a question to the passenger. So which of the passenger is asking, or which of the passenger is looking to eat low calorie meal? So definitely he will answer this question that, okay, Naveen Mishra looks to eat low calorie meal, or Radha Jain looks to add a low calorie meal. Okay. Whichever the passenger is looking, or whichever the passenger is requesting to add a low calorie meal, that passenger association should be added like a slash and a P1. If I add T1 here, which means that this low cost, low calorie meal will be added for which passenger? Naveen Mishra, Radha Jain, which one? Tell me, for which passenger? For Radha Jain. Okay. So this is the way you can add it. Quickly add here. See, the low calorie meal gets added. Now, remember one thing. The special service request which you ask from the airline, it's a two-way communication. So whenever the airline request or whenever you request any special service request with the airline will give you a message back to the PNR. Okay, just 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. Really sorry, guys. Yeah. See, so we were discussing about that special service request, and special service request is a two-way communication. So how do you find out that it's a two-way communication? Every special service request gets added as an element. What type of element it will show? It's an SSR element, that is a special service request. And every special service request, do you see this four-letter code? Yes, no? And beside that, do you see this two alphabets and one numeric number? So that is the status code. Okay, so every special service request gets automatically updated by the airline with a status code, and every status code has a meaning. Okay, which I am going to show you in the quick reference guide. See here. See, these are the different status codes. So whenever you see as in status code HK, what does it mean by the status code HK? It's a confirmed. Whatever the special service request you have entered here, it is confirmed by the airline. Okay, that is the reason it shows as an HK. Okay, now it shows NO. What does it NO stands for? See, you all tell me, what does it NO stands for? See here. No action going to be taken by the airline. Okay, no action is going to be taken by the airline. Is that clear? Yes. So it means that airline is not going to take any action because that service is not going to be provided by the airline. That is the reason it says no action taken. Okay. Now, there are other status codes as well, UC, UN. Every status code has some certain meaning. Okay, so which we need to read it, which we'll read the moment we get those kind of status codes. All right, clear? Now, if you want to add, now let move to the another special service request here, wheelchair. So if suppose if you want to add a wheelchair, so now you need a four letter wheelchair code. Yes, no, yes or no? Definitely, some of you already answered. So how do we add? How do we get to know the wheelchair code? So then there is another command HESR, enter, and the follow-up command GPSR4, which will give you the list of all the SSR codes. Do you see this here? The list of all SSR codes with explanation. It's given here. All right. Now MD, you will start reading that one. The SSR code starts and shows as an alphabetical. See, all the SSR codes arranged in an alphabetical order. So A comes first, then B, and then C and D, and so on. Okay. So now we know that we want to add, we want to know the wheelchair request. So wheelchair request obviously have in the W letter, which is the last page. So how do I directly go to the last page of this display? Can anyone tell me the command, scrolling entry command? MB is the last page. Move to the bottom. No ML. It's MB. Move to the bottom. Enter. Now I moved to the last page of the display. Here, end of the display. All right. So this is the way you can find out the four-letter code. Now tell me what if I want to add the wheelchair till ramp, or if I want to add the wheelchair till up and down steps, or the manual power wheelchair I need to add, or the wheelchair till on board I'm requesting, what type of wheelchair that you are looking, those have a four-letter code. So suppose I want to get a wheelchair like a wheelchair till ramp. Okay, let's add here. Now tell me the command that I need to enter here to add the wheelchair code. SR and then the four-letter code WCHR4. Now you all tell me, anybody will get the wheelchair at the airport? Anybody who requests the wheelchair, they might get the wheelchair request? Yes or no? No. Anyone cannot get that. So the passenger who are elderly aged passenger, they might get a wheelchair, or there is a medical emergency. So whenever you are adding a wheelchair request in the PNR, you always inform to the passenger, sir, if you are taking the wheelchair request you to reach the airport as soon as possible. So suppose there is as per the airline, you need to reach at 2 hours prior to check-in. So then they have to reach at least 3 hours prior to the check-in, because for that 1 hour will might take by the airline wheelchair request taken. Suppose I just gone to the counter. Now I request that I have requested a wheelchair from the passenger because there is a medical emergency. That passenger has met with a accident and his leg is fractured. Now the airline asks you to show the documents that is it true that you you've met with an accident, or the person who is at the counter, they need to show this medical proof. And once the airline verifies that a medical proof, then they will provide you the wheelchair. All right, that's the number one. The number two, wheelchair is a first come first service provided by the airline. So whosoever comes first, they will get the wheelchair service first, and then whomsoever comes later on, they have to wait for their turn. Once the wheelchair gets free, then they will be provided to the another passenger. So that is the reason, not for the kiosk, you always tell the passenger, sir, please reach as soon as possible. Okay, clear to everyone? Yes, no? and the command should be this WCHR, and then again add the passenger association for which passenger that you are looking for the wheelchair. Suppose I don't add the passengers association, what will happen? Now here I'm not going to add the passenger association. So what will happen here? Tell me. This special request gets added for all the passengers. All the passengers who are present in the PNR, this special request gets automatically added. So that is the reason every time you need to go and put a slash and the passenger association to add, and just to make sure that the special request gets getting added to the particular passenger. Okay, is that clear? Now, the similar way, if you want to add the bassinet seat, do you know the bassinet seat? It is only applicable for the infant. Now, tell me, if there is no infant in the PNR, will the bassinet seat gets added? Tell me yes, no. No, because there is no infant. So the system automatically reads that there is no infant in the PNR. So how are you going to add the bassinet seat? So now tell me, in my PNR, is there any infant? This definitely there is an infant. So how do I add the bassinet request, or how do I add the bassinet seat? SR, and the bassinet seat code is BSCT. Now, for which passenger that bassinet request is getting added, or is going to add? Slash P2, because the passenger number 2 is associated with an infant. So the moment you add here slash P2, this bassinet request gets added for the passenger number 2. All right, clear? Yes, no? All right. So if you want to add the wheelchair remarks as well, that can also be done through SRWCHR dash and the remarks like WCHC. And you can want to write a passenger leg got fractured. Okay, slash P2 or P1. Let's do like this. Okay, press enter. Now see this wheelchair request gets added and the message gets added. Now see, there is one more line automatically added by the airline. Now what is the message? See here, mandatory to submit what? In CAD. That means you need to share and submit the medical proofs. All right. So whosoever asks you to add, how do I add the remarks in the wheelchair command? That is, I have already shared. Now, anybody else have any questions more? The wheelchair request has been added. The bassinet request has been added. Now, there is one more thing, meet and assist. That's also a service. That's a special service request, which will be provided by the airline. If meal not provided, then how to add? Which I don't understand, Hafsa. If meal not provided, then how to add? Basically, you are telling me that if there is no meal provided by the airline, then how do you add the meal? Yes or no? So if the meal is not provided, for all the GDS airlines, the airline provides you the meal. Okay, that's a service given to the passenger by the airline. So then definitely they will provide you the meal. Now, some of the airlines provide you the meal on a charge basis, that means a paid meal, and some of the airlines provide you on a free of cost meal. So now this will be needs to be checked with the airline. If the airline provides you on a chargeable basis of a meal, so then you have to submit that meal code and you have to pay an amount for that meal. And then you have to raise an EMD service, which for EMD service, you need to join the ticketing session. Then I will make you understand that how to raise an EMD for meal or a seat or any of the special service request. All right, Hafsa? But if the airline will not provide you any meal, then you need to talk with an airline that there is no meal service and passenger is looking for a meal. So how would I do? How would I add? All right. So this is the way you can add meal, wheelchair, bassinet, and last meet and assist. Now tell me, for meet and assist, what is the four-letter code? First of all, tell me what is the two-letter command to add a meet and assist command? SR. Now four-letter code for meet and assist. Okay, now where should I go to find out this meet and assist? I need to go MU to read the M letter. So now we are at P. Now we are at M. Now what is the four-letter code for meet and assist? See, MAAS. So that is the four-letter code. Now after this four-letter code, now you can enter the free flow text. Passenger is a elderly is a senior citizen. Senior citizen. Okay, press enter. Here you need to give a dash marks as well, so that this gets added in the PNR. See, do you see where is this SSR remarks for meet and assist? Yes, here. See, and what is the airline has given you the reply? Do is it give this service will be provided by the airline? Yes or no? No action, because the airline is not going to provide you this service. So airline directly reject. So if they accept that request, so what status will it show here? HK. All right. Okay, now quickly move to the next. Seat. That is very much a most common question by the passenger. I want to block my seat. So now how do you see the seat? So there is a command which will help you to find out the seat map, and that there are two ways to find out the seat map. One is through graphical and another is through the cryptic one. So now the seat map will be best viewed in the graphical interface, which will help you to understand that aisle seat, window seat, or middle seat. Okay, how does that seat map gets displayed? And that gets displayed through a command SM. SM stands for seat map. The moment you do enter SM, a graphical interface will automatically comes here. Now see, now see, automatically the seat map gets displayed. Now, can anyone tell me, in the entire flight, is this only 8 seats available? Yes or no? No, there are other seats available, but can anyone tell me in which cabin we have booked our flight? That means in which cabin we have booked this PNR? No, in the not the economy, in the business cabin we have booked it. Right? If in the economy, in the economy there are huge, that means high number of seats available, but in the business cabin there are very less number of seats available, or the that seats available. So these are the only 8 seats only available as of now for the business cabin left, which is not being occupied by the passenger. So passenger is looking, because passenger is traveling with an infant. Now passenger asked you a question, or passenger might ask you a question that, okay, book me the seat where the bassinet seat will be allowed to, or I want to book any seat where the baby basket or the bassinet seat can be put there. We can put there the bassinet seat. So how do you find out that? Is there any identification given here that this seat is only best suited for the bassinet seat? No. Then there is a seat features given. Do you see the seat features? Click on that seat features. And here, the moment you click, you can find out that which one is the aisle seat, bulkhead seat. Bulkhead seat means the seat which has an extra head or space. because it is very useful for those people who are very tall. So once they sit on that low bulkhead seat, so they it creates a problem for them. So they want a bulkhead seat. All right. So how do you find out that which one seat is good for the bulkhead seat? Click on that one. It automatically gets highlighted. Okay, these four seats are very suitable for the bulkhead seat. So you can book in any one of the four. All right. Now I want only those type of seat which has a leg space seat. It means extra leg room space. So these are the only four seats. Now I want to book only seat with the facility for the handicapped or incapacitative passenger. So these are the only two seats. I want to only book in the window seat. So these are the only window seat which has a nice view, because those passengers preferred who are first time traveling to the international. They want to see the sky view from the window. So then you can go and click on window seat, because this is also a window seat, but this might be over the wings. That is the reason it is not showing as a window seat. Okay. So this is the seat features facility. Is that clear to everyone? Yes, no? All right. Now, if you see here, here it is showing you as a segment. Okay. So tell me for which segment I am blocking the seat. For 10th June, Colombo to Chennai. All right. Now I click on that. So I can see this return segment. So for this is only for the onward segment. Now, if you want to book for the seat for the return segment, click on the segment section and select the return segment. Now it will show you the return segment seat. See, these much seats are available. Okay. All right. So this is the way you can select the segment. Now, let me first of all book the seat for all these three passengers together. So I will book this one seat, I will book this one, and I will book this one seat. Now, see, this is the seat. These are the two only seats which is passenger occupying, because this is the third passenger who is not going to occupy with the seat. Click on the book seat option. How can we know the class? Aarti, yesterday I told you, if at the time of booking the or at the time of selling the seat, you get to know which one cabin it is. Okay. Now I selected these two seats and I click on book seat. Look here, what happened? It gets confirmed. It means both the seats are confirmed by the airline. And that is the reason it says here message confirmed. Clear? Now, how do you know that whether the seat is confirmed or not? That can also be seen in the PNR. So I have added these all these services. That means the seat. Is that clear? Now, what I want to do, I want to close the seat map. Yes, do this, close the seat map. Now you can see here, this seat is already added here. See, this 01DN is the first seat number for passenger number 1, and 01FN is the seat for the passenger number 2. Okay. Clear to everyone? Now we are going to provide the next part of the special service request, passengers information. So how do you add the passengers passport data? So now to add the passengers passport data, you need to go and search HE docs, type and note down the page number 12. At page number 12, you can see the API is travel details. So here is the command to add the passenger's passport data. What you do, you copy the same command. Okay. All right. Now, this is the two-letter code. Can anyone tell me what is this two-letter code for special service request? SR. Now, what is the four-letter code to add the passport details? Docs. Got it? So this is the two-letter command to enter the special service request SR, and the four-letter code for this in that special service, which is the passport details. So this is docs, and then you need to enter this airline code because I want to add the PNR has a two-letter code UL. So I enter that UL, and then after this UL, HK1. Now see, what is this HK1 stands for? HK1 stands for the action code and the number of service. So now you can add only one passport details at a same time or at a single time. So that is the reason it says here the HK1 means now this action code is confirmed, and now I am going to add the passport number for one passenger. That is the reason it says here HK1. Now, after this HK1, there is a P letter also mentioned. See, P. P stands for what? P means the travel document type, that what type of travel document the passenger is carrying. So this gives an identification. After this is the three-letter code, which is meaning has been issuing country. See, I have entered the India because the passport belongs to an Indian passenger. So that is the reason the passport is issuing country is India. Now let's take an example. If it's a Sri Lankan passport, now what would be the three-letter code for the passport issuing country? Or how would I find it? Do it DC Sri Lanka. Now you find it that the three-letter issuing country is LKA. So let's add an LKA. After this stands for the passport number, the document number. Let me add the document number, random document number. After this, there is another three-letter country code. So this three-letter country code is the nationality of that passenger. So for Sri Lankan passenger, what will be the three-letter nationality code? A citizenship code? LKA. So that is the same thing I am going to enter here. Now, this is the date of birth of the passenger. So let's take an example that the date of birth of passenger is 30th of June, 73. So remember the way how to add the passenger's date of birth. All right. After this, you need to add the passenger's gender. So gender, suppose it's a male passenger, so you can add M. If it is a female passenger, add as female, F. Okay. Then put a dash marks and add the passport expiry date. So let's suppose that the passenger's passport expiry date is 14th April 2025. Clear? Now let me add the passenger's surname here, Mishra. After this is for the first name and this is for the middle name. So what I'm going to do, as per the passport, there is no middle name. It's only a given name, Naveen Kumar. I did it. So that's the given name, and that's the that's the surname, and that's the given name. And after this, there is an H letter. What does this H stands for? See, H stands for the passenger document type. So what type of passenger travel document is this? It's a passport holder indication. So if it is a passport, then it shows as an H. Earlier, there were other travel documents to travel internationally, but nowadays, passport is the only valid travel document to travel any international. Okay. So this is the reason it gives an indication H. Understood? After this is a passenger association. So tell me, this passport number belongs to which passenger? It's a passenger number 1. So is it a passenger number 1 passport or passenger number 2 passport? Tell me. It's a passenger number 2. So what should I write here? P2. Press enter. Now this gets added in the PNR. Okay, so this is the way you can add the passenger's passport number. Now, apart from the passenger's passport number, how do you add the visa details? So see in the quick reference guide, here is the topic related to visa. Sorry, here, how would you add the passenger's visa information? What I'll do, I'm just going to copy the same here and only change the relative details. Now tell me, let me here. See, this is the command, set of command you can say. Now, what is the two-letter code? What is the two-letter command code? SR. What is the four-letter code to add the visa? Quickly, DOCO. And what is the four-letter code to add a passport details? Special service request code for the passport? DOCS. So remember that one. DOCS is used for the passport. DOCO is used for the visa details. After this, then you need to enter the airline code. Then again, the status code. Here is the passport. That means the visa issuing state. See, so the visa where the passenger should getting issued or the place of birth. I'm really sorry. This city is the passenger's place of birth. So the passenger belongs to, let's take an example, Colombo. So let's add the passenger's place of birth as in Colombo. And Colombo, apart from the Colombo, you need to add the country code, LKA. Done? Then put a dash and enter the single letter code which gives an identification that the type of travel document, like P is the type of travel document in the docs entry. So here V is the used as for the visa entry. So that is the reason I have entered. This is the visa number. And apart from this, this is the place of visa issuance. So let's take an example. The visa is being issued from Hambantota. Hambantota. If I mispronounce the place spelling, so please correct me. And the IND. So what does this IND stands for? After this, you need to enter the country code because that Hambantota belongs to which part of the country. If you want to enter, you can enter. Otherwise, you can leave it blank as well. Then this here. This is the country of the, what I can say, the issuance document country code, which means that from where the documents gets issued, from which part of the country. You can write it. Suppose this visa belongs to India. So I am going to enter this visa country code because here this will identify that, okay, the visa belongs to Indian country. So that is the reason I am going to enter this one. The date of issuance of the visa here is given. Sorry. Let me open up. Here is the date of issuing the visa. So let's take an example that the visa is being issued on 18th of Jan 2023. Okay, the visa is for the Indian country. For the passenger number, let's take an example, passenger number 2. Press enter. Sorry, there is some error. Okay, let me see the error. Text format having an error. Okay, let me add this, remove this one. Sorry, there is some error coming up. Okay, let's do one thing. Let me copy the entire uh, command from here to there. Okay. Mm, let's enter as in Colombo, Colombo. Then again, it's a Colombo. This is the visa. Let's change the 18th Jan 23 or, 22. You can make it. Um, can you tell me the spelling of COLO? I'm sorry, COLOMBO. Sorry, guys. Now this visa belongs to Indian country for the passenger number 2. Now this time I think there will be no. Okay, invalid request for the element. Now there is one error which we left it, which is for the airline code. Hmm. There is an okay. Now once you get in such type of error, you do one more thing here. You go HESR and sorry HE you find take the help of this HE and then you go and open this page number MS295 quickly, where you will find the correct format. Here. So let's copy this one and let's paste here. Let's again copy the rest of the part. Here. Now, SR Doco is the command to add the visa details. This is the 2-letter airline code. This is the place of so COLOMBO, Colombo, Sri Lanka country. This is the visa type. That's the and here again COLOMBAO LKA 18th Jan 23. Now, this USA belongs to, what does it USA stands for? See, let me go and read that USA. See, what does this USA stands for? The USA belongs to the country where the travel document applies. The 3-letter air, that means the country code. So this visa belongs to which country? IND country. Okay, and now after this, there is a single letter which is I. I stands for this is infant indicator that there will be any infant or not. So there is no infant. So let's remove that. Or we can do like this. Passenger number 2 has an infant, so I entered the this one and this date. What does this date stands for? See, this date gives you the meaning, the expiry date of the visa. Okay. So the visa is going to expire in 2025. Now let's see. This is getting added. Yes. Now this gets added here. See? Added? Yes, no? So if you want to see the set of command, what all details are added here, so you can find it here. Now, instead of that infant, if you want to add without that infant, that also can get done by this way. You can see here the infant indicator. It is mandatory. See here, it is mentioned here. Where is this? I stand. Mandatory for infants not occupying a seat. Okay. So this is the one you can use it. If you do not use it, suppose I'm just going to remove this part here. I'm going to remove. Now, this time I am going to add this detail for passenger number 2. Again, and I am going to change this details as in 25. Rest of the details get same. Okay, that means I need to add this one. Let me see. I'm really sorry for guys. Allow me a minute. Okay. All right. Um, Echi Doko. No, the Colombo spelling has no issue. Let's see MS295. MS295. Okay. All right, no worries. What I'll do tomorrow, I will just give you the information that what is the text missing here, that it is not getting added and there is some invalid text data. Okay, no worries. Let's move on. Okay, so this is the way if you want to add an infant details for the visa details added for the infant. That's the way. Clear? Now, there are other informations as well that gets added through the command, which is in GST details, phone and email ID, which we have already learned. Can anyone tell me that how do we add a phone number or an email ID in the PNR through special service request? Can anyone tell me the full command? Anybody remember? So the two-letter code that the two-letter command is SR, and the four-letter code for mobile number CTCM, for email ID CTCE. Clear? So that is the complete command. All right, very nice. So this is the here given frequent flyer, the phone number and the email ID. I'm sorry about it. So clear till now? Now all those details here, whatever the details that have we have added, the passengers information, that can be added through graphically as well. Now it's your choice which one would you prefer. So now how do you add those information through graphically? That can be done through this way. SM means it will display you the seat map first. Let's get display the seat map. The moment seat map gets displayed here, you go and click on service catalog. Do you see the service catalog? Yes, no? Now here you will find out those details. Suppose you want to add the meals. Click on the meals part. Whatever the service request we have added through cryptic, that can also be added here through graphical as well. See, if you click on meals, click on the standard meals. So here, no need to remember the code or no need to find out the code. All the list of available codes given here, whichever the code passenger requesting, you can go and provide it. Okay. Is that clear? Suppose I am looking for a baby food because there is an infant. So what I'll do, I click on that on request. Now see the baby food. So tell me which one is the baby for associated. That means the passenger number 2 is the baby. So what I'll do, I will remove the passenger number 1 here and then click on this passenger number 2 only and click. So this baby food will only be accepted for the infant. See, it gets added. If I scroll down, you can see here the list of all the services, special service requests that I have added. Do you see here? Yes, no? Yes, no? See, The BBML is already added here. And now tell me the status. It is showing as an HK. And is it a chargeable or a not chargeable? It's not chargeable. Okay. Now, if any of the service that you don't want, you can go and click on delete. So that service gets deleted here. Okay. Clear? So this is the segment which will help you to find add the meals. Now, if you go and click on passengers assistance wheelchair, so this is another segment related to the wheelchair is adding the meet and assist service request adding. Do you see here? Wheelchair, seat, dry cell, seat, and everything. Clear? So this is the way you can add the passengers assistance wheelchair. Clear? Now, little scroll down more and you will find it, the passengers information. If you click on the passengers information, you will see the first passengers information special service request, which is, what is written here? Frequent flyer number. Frequent flyer number, it's a special program. You can find it here. I'll just show you. What is a frequent flyer number? So a frequent flyer program is a program, it's a loyalty program which is offered by the airline. So many airlines have a frequent flyer program designed to encourage the airline customers enrolled in the program, and that will help you to accumulate the points. So once any of the passenger travel through that airline, they will get some mileage points. It is similar. Have you noticed or have you come across? Once you go to any shopping mart, they will give you a small card, and they said if you shop through this card, so you will get some bonus point. And once you accumulate so much bonus points, then you can purchase anything free of cost. You need to do one thing. You need to accumulate that points to purchase that specific product, whichever you are looking. So it is the similar one. The more you travel with the airline, the more you get a points. And once you have reached to a certain points which you have accumulated, so which you can redeem for any air travel or any other services like lounge access, free of cost meal, paid meal that you want. Meet and assist service can also be get access through this frequent flyer program mileage benefits. So those all benefits will get by the passenger free of cost. All right. So now it's the travel agency's responsibility that you need to inform the passengers frequent flyer number to the airline. And how would you add the passengers frequent flyer number in the PNR? There is a command which will help you to add the frequent flyer number. And the command is, there is a command, but before going to do the adding the frequent flyer number through command, I'm going to show you through the graphical here. What you need to do, you need to enter the frequent flyer membership carrier. Carrier means the frequent flyer airline code. Suppose I have a frequent flyer membership of British Airways or Sri Lankan Airlines. So I type the Sri Lankan Airlines 2-letter code and the frequent flyer number. Okay. And then click on add SSR. The moment you add, it gets added. Now, why it's not getting added? Because this frequent flyer number is not found in the database of airline, because this is the dummy number that I'm adding here. Okay. Yes, no? So the frequent flyer number is associated with a passengers especially. So suppose if I'm adding a frequent flyer number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so this is associated with Radha Jan. So if the name does not match exactly, So the frequent flyer number is not going to add it, and the passenger is not going to get the benefit of frequent flyer number. So every time if you are creating any PNR for the passenger, so you must ask so the exact name as per the frequent flyer program, and then you create a PNR accordingly. All right, because if there will be any spelling error, if there will be any spelling error, then the frequent flyer number is not going to be added. Okay, clear? Now tell me, if I want to add the frequent flyer number for the second passenger, what should I do? Where should I go and click? I'm going to click on the passenger number 2. Again, I need to enter the frequent flyer carrier and the frequent flyer number and click on this add SSR. Clear? So this is the way you can add the frequent flyer number through graphically. Now, here the third option, APIS slash TSA secure flight data. This is very much important. This is used to add the passengers information, and the full form of APIS is advanced passenger information. Remember, I told you on the day one, uh, if it is said as in APIS data or SFPD data or docs entry, all those three words have the same meaning, which is a passenger's passport data needs to be added. Okay, so here the topic is given APIS data. Under that, there is a first travel document, which is a docs entry. So if you have going to add a passenger's passport number, you can simply go and click the passenger number. That means the passenger name here. This is the passport details for the Radha Jain. See? Now, if you want to add the passport detail for Naveen Mishra, what I need to do here, I need to go and click on this. Now, it will automatically come the name of the passenger. You need to select the gender, the date of birth, the nationality. So here, no need to remember the code of the country. So once you type, you will automatically see the list. Now here the country of birth. So you type only INDIA, or you can type like Sri Lanka. So automatically the code comes here. Now if I type here Sri, automatically code comes here. All right. Now this detail is getting added for this Naveen Kumar Mishra passenger. Now this detail is getting added for which passenger? An infant which is associated with this adult passenger. So it's a male infant or a female infant. So let's add that one. Now automatically, have you noticed the date of birth automatically gets populated? Now can anyone tell me where does this date of birth, how the system populate the date of birth? It will be populated at, remember we entered the date of birth while entering the date of birth of passengers, that infant, so that it gets automatically picked up. Now automatically the nationality also picked up, because if it is associated with an what I can say, the adult passenger, so here it's automatically added. So every details automatically gets picked up. Now only need to enter the document number. Now this document number means you need to enter the passenger's passport number, the surname, the given name. Okay, understood? And the passenger's passport expiry date. Select the passenger's passport expiry date. Select it and then click on add SSR. The moment you click on add SSR, the special service request element gets added here. See? It gets added. Okay. Now, if you find that this detail is not correct, go and click on delete. It gets deleted. All right. Yes, no? Now, this is the next important service, Indian goods and service tax. So this will be only applicable for the passenger who was having a GST number. So that basically that means this service is only applicable for the Indian passenger. because the Indian passengers have the GST number. Okay, so let's take an example that I have a GST number and I ask the travel agents to share their GST invoice. So how the GST invoice will be shared? So GST invoice needs to be shared once you add the GST number of the passenger. Okay, so you need to add the GST number for both the passengers. If both passengers have a GST number, you can add the both passengers GST number. If you find that any one of the passenger detail gets added, that means I don't want to add the child passenger's GST number, deselect it and add the GST number of the passenger number 2. Okay, the GST number and the name of the company, then the address, and then the phone number and the email ID. Click on only the request option. So it gets added automatically here. Is that clear to everyone? Tell me yes, no. Now, passenger IROP contact. What is IROP? Remember, we add this SRCTCM and SRCTCE. This is the similar one. See, IROP full form means irregular operational activities. That is the full form of IROP. IR stands for irregular, OP stands for operational. So any of the flight which is irregularly operational by the airline, so then the the email will be sent or the message will be sent by the airline or directly called by the airline on the number which you add at here under SRCTCE or CTCM. All right. So now it's your choice, whichever suits you fine. You can use either graphical way or the cryptic way. Any one of the way you can add the these special service requests. Any questions till now? Please ask me. Anybody has any questions? Now I click on cross button. So the service catalog dialog box will automatically closed. Graphical chart found. Kulbir, I told you the command, the graphical chart. What is the command to open the seat map? Tell me, Kulveer.
So that time I have missed internet connection.
See the chat. See the chat. SM is the command to display the seat map. The moment you enter seat map or SM, the seat map gets displayed here. Now, if you go and click on the service catalog, what happens? The service catalog gets opened. Now, whichever the service catalog you are looking for, you click on that service catalog, and then you can take that service available with only a click service. Clear, Kulveer? Now, I want to close the seat map. I simply go and click on the close map or close seat map. Done? Clear? All right. After this, let me see any other topic which is left. All right. Now, I have already informed you yesterday that how to modify the PNR. Can you tell me the command if I want to delete these special service requests? Line number 12 to line number 15. I don't want that special service request. How do I delete line number 12 to line number 15? Very nice. XE12-15. So it gets cancelled here. Okay. So this is the way you can perform the command. Now, what happened here? Actually, in my training mode, it is showing as an restricted. Just because of this, it is not possible to cancel. However, in your system, in your live mode, it is allowed. Okay. Clear to everyone? Now, which I have already explained it to you. Now, let me move to the quickly topic before going to give you a break. See, today, I'm not going to give you a break. What I'll do, I will wind up the session 10, 15 or half an hour prior. Okay, so please stay in the session. I'll just explain this frequent flyer number, don't worry. So I'm not going to give you a break. So I will end the session by 4:15 or 4:20. So I'm not going to give you any break between that 4:20. Okay, so please stay with me, stay active as well. All right, see. Now see, I am going to, somebody said that explain the frequent flyer number. Frequent flyer number. So Shahad, can you unmute yourself and ask the specific thing that you don't understand, this frequent flyer number? Do you understand what is frequent flyer number?
You got disconnected. Can you but
Sorry?
No, sir, I didn't got. Please, can you explain it?
Sure. So frequent flyer number is a program which is offered by the airline. Okay. Now, why the airline offer the frequent flyer number? Just to encourage the passenger. They, as much as they enroll the frequent flyer number, so their sales gets increased. Okay. Now, what is the customer benefit if they enroll themselves in the frequent flyer number of airline? So they get a benefit of once they travel through that particular airline, so they get particular points. Okay, and that point is called as in miles. So whenever they travel from let's take an example, Colombo to Chennai or Colombo to London, so the airline has fixed some certain miles, and once they reach the miles, they get certain points. Now that points get accumulated in your frequent flyer number under the frequent flyer number. Now once a certain number of frequent flyer points gets accumulated, now what you can do with that point, either you can purchase a free of cost ticket, because that will be directly utilized to purchase the flight. That can also not be used to purchase the flight. That can also be used to purchase the service like lounge access. Have you noticed there are certain lounge access given by the airline? So if you want to utilize the lounge access, so you can use your miles, and the miles gets adjusted to purchase that lounge access. Apart from the lounge access, there are other off programs which is offered by the airline, which is a paid service, which you can also utilize through this points which you accumulated through frequent flyer program. Clear, Shahad? Now, anybody has any other questions? Because now I have done, now I'm just going to start with a new topic. So if I started the new topic, so anybody has any questions, so please ask me, because it's very problematic for again to come back to the previous topic, explain it once more, and then again come to the topic which we were discussing. So anybody has any questions, please reply in the chat. FFN. What if we mistake a frequent entering of, so it will not get added in names. Okay, sorry, Hafsa, you said that if there will be any names entering mismatching, so then you should be very cautious while entering the passenger's name. Okay, so always being as per passport. If there will be any kind of error, and if the ticket has not been issued on the PNR, then you have an option, cancel that PNR, and then issue a new, that means create a new PNR. But if the ticket has been issued with the wrong name, then connect with the airline and share the same scenario to the airline. Now, whatever the airline suggests to you, do follow the same steps. All right, Hafsa. Now, Nimmi asked, sir, can we add SRCTCT and SRTCT after issued the ticket? Yes, these are the special service requests you can add, but preferably airline requires that number in the PNR. Either you can add, because this is a special service request. So all the special service requests can be added after issuing the ticket. Okay. However, preferably the CTCM or CTCE should be added before the ticket issuance. But system is not going to stop you once the ticket has been issued and we are going to add this SRCTCM or CTCE. It is allowed. All right, Nimi? All right. Any other questions? Anybody has any question? I'm going to give you 1 minute, think, and then reply. If there is no question, reply in the chat, no questions. Okay. Now there's no question how many packs we can add in one PNR. Okay. So in one PNR, maximum 9 passengers, including infant and child. Okay. Clear? All right. Now let's move to the next topic, PNR splitting. Now, focus on this topic here. Let's take an example that in this PNR, there is one child who is traveling, one adult is traveling, and out of that, these 3 passenger, one child is not traveling. Suddenly, one passenger called you that, okay, can you just do one thing? The child passenger is not traveling with the PNR or in this PNR. Can you just split or can you remove this child passenger? How would you remove this child passenger from this PNR? So then that process is called as an split process, manual split process. So now we are going to manually split this PNR and then we will remove this child passenger. So how will you remove the passenger? Through a command. There is a command which is SP. SP stands for split passenger. What do we call SP? SP stands for split passenger. SP. All right? Clear? This needs to be checked by your internally because there is no system to check whether the visa is required traveling or not. Okay. So let's focus on this topic. Okay, everybody, please focus on that. Then I will answer your chat question because I have already given you ample time to focus here. So SP is the command to split the passenger. Now tell me which passenger is not traveling or which passenger is having changed his mind. Tell me which one. The passenger number 1. So I need to enter the passenger specification. Passenger number 1. The moment you enter passenger number 1 here and press enter. All right. So I have not performed the save command. So that is the reason it is telling me. Now I have saved. Now let's perform the SP and now the passenger number. Enter. Now, the moment you perform SP1, do you see this passenger number one, child passenger, automatically being removed from the parent PNR, and that is an associated PNR which is showing you here. Okay, do you see here? Yes, no? So this is the first step. So SP1 is the first step. Now, what is the second step? There are only 4 steps if you're going to split the booking, split the PNR. So SP1, this is the step number 1. Now, what is the step number 2? The step number 2, RF and the initial of your name, that means the person who is responsible for this splitting, RF, NM. That means I am responsible for this splitting, manual splitting process. Enter. See? Done? Yes, no? After this RF and the initial, you need to perform one more command, EF. This is very much important. EF stands for end and filing the command, which means now you are going to end the PNR and file a new PNR. The moment you do so, your new PNR gets filed and the PNR gets splitted. See what happened. EF. Now, the moment you do, remember yesterday I told you, whenever you get any kind of warning, so what should you do always? Tell me. No, I told you to perform the last command, which is performed. So tell me, what is the last command which we have run through just now? EF. So again, I need to perform EF. It will only be, it is going to be done only in that condition once you get any warning. If you do not get any warning, do not perform the previous command again. Okay? Understood? Now, after this, the step number 3, because I have already filed to create a new PNR. Now, the new PNR has been created, but is it being saved in the PNR? No. So I need to perform this end transaction saving command. Again, I need to perform RF initial semicolon ER. Enter. Again, it will give me a warning. So what should I do here? Type the ER, the last command. Now see on the top, do you see here AXR? AXR. So what does this AXR stands for? AXR means this is a splitted PNR and there is an associated PNR with this live PNR. That means there is a PNR which is associated. It simply means that there is a splitted PNR, or generally if you want to understand. So this is there is a splitted PNR which is associated with this current PNR. How do you see that which one is the splitted PNR, which one is the associated PNR? There is a command. Please make a note of that. RTAXR is the command which will help you to find out the splitted PNR and the associated PNR. See, this is the passenger which we have splitted. Have you noticed? Radha Jan. Now tell me the new PNR for Radha Jan. This is the new PNR. See? And this is the PNR, which is currently we are at this PNR. See, how do you understand that we are currently at this PNR? If you see here star, it means currently we are at this PNR. This is the passenger, and this is the splitted passenger PNR. Got it? Yes, no? I'm going to paste these 3 steps in your chat. Please make a note. Now, I have already mentioned this one more important part. Note, please note this one as well. Once you note it, please let me know. Once noted, please let me know. Everybody noted? Anybody has any questions related to the split booking? Anybody has any questions related to the split process? All right. Now we have done with the topic of whichever is left from the yesterday. Now, quickly, we are going to start with a fair topic. Please focus here. How are we going to start with the fair topic? Now, which is very much important for all of you. Okay. Suppose I have created this PNR. Now, passenger asks me, tell me how much amount that I have to pay. Okay. So how do you price the PNR? Because I have created, now I want to price it. Now, there are two ways to pricing. One is the same class which we have created the PNR. Tell me which class we have created the PNR in I and Q. So I want to price the PNR in the same class, or either, yes, after splitting, if you want to do XI, then you can do it. Suppose, I'm sorry, focus on this topic. So let's take an example that I want to price into the I and Q class because I have created the PNR in I and Q class. So what is the command that I should use here to price in the same booked class? FXX, father X-ray, X-ray, press enter. Now, the moment I do, it will price into the same class of service. Do you see here? Now, if you want to confirm that it priced me and it gave me the price for the same booked class, how would you know and how would you display the fare details? There is a command. It's a follow-up command. FQQ and the fare line number. Suppose I want to display the fare from the line number 1, I type FQQ1, press enter. See, that has been done. It shows here I created a PNR in I class and Q class. Now, what is the total fare for adult passenger? 1,36,205 Lankan rupees. For which passenger? For the adult passenger. Now, how much is for the infant passenger? See, that is only 7,400 Lankan rupees. What is the total fare for both the passenger? 143,605. Clear to everyone? Any question? Anybody has any question? Now, if you have seen that, okay, this is the fare which passenger is looking, if you discuss with the passenger and passenger is okay with the fare, because passenger gave you the permission, okay, I'm okay with the fare, I'm ready to make the payment, please issue the ticket, or please go ahead with the issuance. So if you want to issue any ticket, the fare should be stored in the ticket or is stored in the PNR. And how do you store the fare? Because this fare is only been viewed. If you perform FXX, it only display you the fare. But if you want to store the fare, there is a command. What is the command? FXP. Enter. Now, the moment you perform FXP, it will display you the same display, but the fare gets stored. And how does the fare get stored? How do you know? That fare gets a new element, which is in TST. TST full form is transitional stored ticket. Understood? Transitional stored ticket. Understood? Because the fare, once we store the fare, that storing fare is called as in TST. And where do you see? See here. Apart from this AXR, there is one more three-letter flag saved here. This is a TST. Understood? Now, if you only want to display the fare, what is the command? If you only want to display the booked class fare, what is the command? FXX. Okay, and if you want to store the same fare, what is the command? FXP. Clear? So first of all, you need to discuss the fare with the passenger. So you need to perform FXX. Okay. And if you want to store the fare, then go ahead with FXP. Clear? Any questions related to the TST? The full form of TST? What is the full form of TST? Tell me. What is the full form of TST? Transitional stored ticket. Clear with everyone? All right. Now there might be another question comes. I want to see the cheaper fare. Can you tell me that is there any cheaper fare available in the business class or in the economy class? So how would you display? How would you go and see the cheaper fare? Then there is a command, no, not the FXL, because passenger told me that please, first of all, display me the cheaper fare. So the command is FXR, enter. Now, the moment you perform FXR, it will rebook to the cheapest fare, that means the lowest fare. FXR will display, it will display and rebook to the lowest available fare. Clear? Now, what is the meaning of rebook? Now, have you remembered if I do RT, can anyone tell me which class I have booked? In which class of service that I have booked? It's showing right now Q class, but have remember I and Q. But what that command did? It rebooked to the lowest available fare, and the lowest fare is available in Q class for onward as well as the return. So that is the use of FXR. So it will display you the fare and rebook to the lowest available fare. So it will not ask you that this is the lowest fare available. It will automatically rebook to the lowest available fare. Clear? Yes, no? Now, if you want to store the fare, again, if you want to store this cheapest available fare, what is the command? That means if you are going to create a TST because passenger is ready to, yes, again, you need to perform FXP, press enter. Now it is telling me that there is an previous TST. No worries, I remove that previous TST. Again, I perform FXP. See, the cheapest fare gets stored. Clear? So FXP will store the fare or will create a GST. Simply write it, will create the TST. Understood? Understood the difference between FXX and FXR? Any confusion? Now, quickly going to the next command. Now, this time, I don't want to be rebooked because passenger said, can you tell me, is there any command or is there any way to find out the list of fares? Which one is the highest? Which one is the lowest? Is there any fare between highest and the lowest? Can you tell me that? So there is a command which will display you the list of fare. And what is the command? FXA is the command which will display you the, sorry, FXA is the command which will display you the list of fares. Now, there is only a single fare which is lowest right now and which is displaying you here. FXA. And this is the lowest fare. As of now, there is only a single fare which is lowest, and this is the fare which is displaying you. Else, it will display you the lowest list of fares. All right. Let me show you in 10th March. Colombo, London, AUL, CY. Let me do that one. Now, this is the itinerary which we have already created. Now let's perform FXA here. See, this time, can you tell me in which RBD we have created this PNR? We have not created, I have only sold out the itinerary. So this is the Y class. Now I want to display the list of fares, perform FXA. Now this command will display me the 3 different fares. Now, which one is the highest fare? Tell me. How do you find that in which class of service that I need to sell so that I can get this fare? By this looking at fare basis. Once you look at the fare basis, the first letter of the fare basis always tells you the class of service. So if you want this fare, in which class of service that I have to sell the itinerary? And if I want to get this 48,000, then in which class of service that I have to sell? And for 45, M class. Clear? But you might ask a question. So if I book in M class, then I have to pay this fare. And if I book in M class, there is a different fare, 45. So what is the difference between these 2 fares? So can you tell me, can anyone tell me that what would be the difference? Can anyone tell me? Yes, there might be a baggage difference. There might be some extra restrictions provided. It might be possible that this ticket will be a non-refundable, or this ticket will be a refundable. Okay, so these kind of restrictions will be provided. All right, clear? Any questions till now? Uh, when we check the fare, after that, which command is used to change to the cheapest class? No, Arti, I did not say that you can check the fare and then you go to cheapest fare. Anytime, if passenger, suppose you have created this itinerary. Let's take an example here. This is an itinerary which you have created. Okay. Now passenger said, tell me the cheapest available fare. Now tell me which command that you perform. Arti, you tell me. Cheapest available fare. That's it. Now, if passenger asked you, now can you tell me the list of fares? That means, is there any highest fare? Is there any lowest fare? Is there any cheaper, cheapest? Or is there any between cheaper and cheapest? Can you tell me the difference? So then you perform which command? FXA. Clear? Because this will show you the menu card of the fares, and FXR will directly go and rebook to the lowest available fare. Clear? Any confusion? Now, if you want to see the details, suppose you want to see the details of this fare of line number 1. How do you see the details? Tell me. FQQ. For this fare, FQQ3. Clear to everyone? Good. Now, let's take an example this time that passenger is ready. Passenger said that, okay, I am ready to make the payment of 486,429 Lankan rupees. I'm ready to pay this one. Now, book me into that affair. Okay, I am ready to make that. How would you select this fare? Because this is the list of the fare. Now, passenger agreed to make the payment. So how would you go and select this fare? Tell me. Now going to show you the referral, the quick reference guide. I'm sorry. Yep. If you display the fare, the lower fare and the available fare. Now, if you want to select a fare, but if you do not want to create a TST, what is the command? And if you want to select the fare from the FXA, but you want to create a TST, then what is the command? So understand the difference. So passenger is ready to make the payment. So which command should you perform? FXZ1 or FXU1? FXU1. Clear? Now, when do we perform FXU1? Once we perform FXA, then we go and it's a follow-up command of FXA. You cannot directly go and perform FXU and then 1. When do we perform FXU and the 1 or 2 or 3, whichever? 1 is the fare line number. So in this condition, tell me which one, if I want to sell in the fare for 48, 64, 29, then what command should I write here? Clear? FXU and the line number, fare line number. Any questions till now? All right. Now there is one more command which is very useful for you. Suppose Let's take an example. The passenger is ready to make the payment, but he said to me that I am ready to make the payment. Whatever the fare comes, I'm ready to make, but please book me to the cheapest and the lowest fare available. Now, passenger has already given you the permission that whatever the cheapest fare comes up, I am ready to make the payment, but book me into the cheapest one. Now, tell me which one command would you like to perform? First of all, you can perform FXR, and then there is another command which is used or which will be used. No, 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 don't go on LO. Don't get confused. No, 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 no. Diksha, don't. Wait. I'm going to tell you the command. There is a command which will be used to book to the lowest available fare, and it will not only rebook, it will create a TST as well. FXB, enter. See, it rebooks me to the M class, which is 458029. And if I do RT, do you see here the TST flag? It means that it rebooks me to the lowest available fare, and it will not only rebook, it will create a TST as well. So will FXR create a TST? Yes, no? So which will create a TST and book the lowest fare? Will display to the display and rebook to the lowest available fare with TST. Understood the difference between FXR and FXB? Any confusion between FXR and FXB? Anybody? Is there any confusion? All right. Now that's it from the fares topic. So how do you see, if you want to only display the cheapest fare available, then which command should you perform? Tell me. I'm just going to show you that TST. Don't worry, Hassan. FXR. And if I want to book me to the cheapest fare, no matter whatever the fare comes, then which command would you perform? FXB. Clear? Now the question comes. A lot of people ask this question, what is TST? How does this TST looks like? What I don't know, how does this TST looks like? So there is a command which will help you to display the TST. And what is the command? TQT. TQT is the command to display the TST. Let's do that. The moment you do TQT, it will automatically display you here. Now, the TST always have a TST number. So what is the TST number? TST number 1. Which office ID the TST has been created? This is CMB1A0900. This is my credential, Naveen Mishra. On which date the TST is created? 1st of March. After this, this is an I0 indicator. This is the FCPI indicator. Now I'll show you the FCPI indicator. See, here is the command. So this indicator I0 means that it's an Amadeus guaranteed fare indicator. So whenever in your TST, whenever you perform TQT and you see the TST indicator as an I0, it always means that this is an Amadeus guaranteed fare. So whatever the fare which is displaying you here, and if you create a ticket of this fare, so Amadeus guarantees that there is no issue with the fare. Okay, and that is the reason it is a Amadeus guaranteed fare indicator. But apart from I0, there might be another fare indicator like M or N/1, M/3, M/4, I5, M9, B9. If you see any other indicator apart from I0, then Amadeus is not going to guarantee that fare. Okay, Amadeus is not guarantee the fare because these are the fares created manually in the PNR. Okay, clear with that I0? Any questions with that I0? Anybody, please? All right. Now, after this, this is the time till the last date of ticketing. Now, OD stands for origin and destination. So it's a one-way fare. That's the reason it's OND. It's given here, Colombo, Colombo. Now, through which command we have created this TST, it also displays here. FXB, through this command, we have created the TST. This is the passenger name. This is the itinerary. This is the fare and the taxes. See, in Lanka market, always fare should be in the US dollar. So that is the reason it is showing you as an FUSD, and which is equivalent to the Lankan rupees. This is the total tax which is going to be taken by the airline. This is the total fare, and this is the banker's selling rate of the 1 Lankan rupees to the US dollar. This is the grand total. This is the fare ladder. Okay. Now, once we create a TST, two more elements automatically gets added in the PNR. And these two elements are FE element and FV element. FE element means fare endorsement element. FV means fare validating, means the fare will be paid to which airline? UL airline. An endorsement means that whatever the fare, the conditions is going to be applied on the fare by the airline, this is given here, is valid only for the UL, only change fee may apply. So this is on the fare which is endorsed by the airline, that if a passenger is going to change, then the UL airline will charge some change fee. That if there will be any date change, flight number change, or any kind of changes going to be happen by the passenger, then airline will charge some fee. Clear? Yes, no? Understood about TST? Any question related to the TST? Tell me. Yes, no? Shahad said no, yes. Shahad, what does it mean by no and yes? Do you have any questions? Shahad, do you have any questions? Okay, now no questions. So don't send the answer in both the answers. That means no, yes. It means that yes, you don't have any questions, but yes, you might have questions. All right. So that's it from the fare topic. These are the different commands which will be used with the fare. Now I'm going to show you in the quick reference guide. This is the help command for the itinerary pricing. Now, why do we call it as an itinerary pricing? Because we have the itinerary sold out and then we are going to price this. So that is the reason this command FXX is called as an itinerary pricing. So there are other ways to price the itinerary. The number one, FXX, which we have learned. Now, if you want to price the journey passenger wise, perform FXX/P1. You can price the journey segment wise as well, as FXX/S4. Okay. Now, there are 2 or 3 types of fares. So there is a one fare which is published fare. So whichever the fare right now we are displaying, whichever the fare which is displaying you here, FXB, the fare which is displaying you here, it's a published fare because any of the travel agents can see the same fare. All right. But there are some other fares which is a unifare or unique fare, which means that fare is only applicable to the travel agent. So if there is a fare which is filed by the airline for any ABC travel agency, so then how do they find out that unique fare by filed by the airline? This will be done through a command fxx/r comma u. So the moment you do fxx/r comma u, this will not show you the published fare. This will only show you the unique fare or a discounted fare or a negotiated fare, you can say. So if airline has filed that unique fare for you, then you perform fxx/r comma u. All right. All right. Yes, no. Now, if you want to price any PNR without creating a TST with the corporate fare, so airline provides you the corporate code for that. So you need to only enter R comma U followed by the digit corporate code. So this will show you the corporate fares. Okay. Now I have already explained you related to this FXP command. See, FXP can be used to create a TST automatically. Now, if you want to create an TST passenger wise, that can also be done. If you want to create a passenger wise, suppose there is a infant and adult passenger associated, and you want to create only the adult passenger pricings. So then you can perform FXP/PAX/P1. So in the P1, if there is an infant associated, then it will only create a TST for the adult passenger. It will not create a TST for the infant. For the infant, how do you price and create a TST? FXP/INF. These are the extra commands. Yes, for any itinerary, Hafsa, but it should be filed by the airline for your travel agency. If the airline has not filed, Hassan, I do not understand your question. Why ticketing office use radio telephony alphabet? Can you unmute yourself and ask the question? Hassan? All right. Now, there are other itinerary pricing TST creation. If you want to create only an infant TST, then what you should do? FXP/INF. So this will create the infant TST. That will be done tomorrow. All right, Abdul? I will show you without PNR how do you find the pricing. But that pricing is not a guaranteed pricing. All right? So that will give you a rough idea about the price. We will discuss in detail tomorrow. All right. Now, these are the different ways to price and create a TST. Understood? Now, these are the best pricer command which we have learned. FXR, rebook to the lowest fare and do not create a TST. FXA will just display you the lower fares. Clear? Now, FXB, I have already explained. Now, there is one more command, FXL, which will not be given to the travel agents to perform because that FXR will automatically do. But however, a lot of time travel agents wants to know that is there any lowest fare available or is there any lowest possible fare would be there. So then FXL will be the used to find out the lowest possible fare. See, that fare might not be available or might be available. See, Here it is saying no rebooking required because the lowest fare is already given by the airline. However, there might be a chance that there will be a lowest class of service which is not available by the airline, which is closed by the airline. And then it will show you here that no, that there will be a possible fare and that fare is closed by the airline. Okay, so it will display you a message here. So it is only possibility to do so once you again wanted to know that is there any other possible fare or would be any possible fare available, whether it will be available or not. Okay, but there might be a possibility if that class would be available by the airline for by a couple of days, then you can perform FXL. Okay, so that is the reason it's given. Display the lowest possible fare irrespective of the availability. Availability means that class of service will be available or not, which is not committed. But it will tell you that if the class of service will be available, go and do that FXL. Clear? Now, if you want to display the non-refundable fares only, perform FXR and NRF. See, suppose I don't want, passenger said, book me into the cheapest fare, but don't book me into the non-refundable fare. I wanted to book me into the cheapest fare with an refundable one or the non-refundable one. You perform like this one, it will display you the non-refundable fare or refundable fare. Let me show you here. I wanted to book the cheapest refundable fare. See, this is the cheapest refundable fare. Clear? But I wanted to book me anyhow to the cheapest one, whether it is a refundable or a non-refundable. Do NRF. So NRF means the non-refundable fare. Now, there is no fare valid in my office ID. So that is the reason it is giving me a message here. Okay. That's also the possible way to find out the non-refundable and refundable fare. Clear? I have already explained you the TQT command. Anybody has any questions related till now, whatever the command which we have learned? Have you noted that command? These fare command? All of you have noted that command? Yes, no? All right. Now, that's it from the today's session. If you do not have any questions, that's it from the today's session. We will meet you tomorrow, and that means I will meet you tomorrow by 2 o'clock the same time through the same Zoom link. Okay, till then, thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Now I'm going to just end the session.